When making housing choices, there are a lot of factors that affect our choices. Some of these include values, space, costs, roles, and lifestyle. Values. These are our strong beliefs and ideas about what is important. Some things that may be important to us are family, friendship, money, status, religion, and independence. Our needs and values are closely related. For example, some people have the need to sleep in a bed. Values influence what type of bed people choose, such as size and comfort level. What values impact housing choices? Right? What values related to housing do these photos suggest to you? When my husband and I were looking at a house, our values affected the type of houses that we were looking for. We value family a lot and want to make sure that there's enough room for them to stay and feel invited. So we wanted to make sure that we had a house with many bedrooms so that there would be a place for them to stay. Space. Space requirements affect housing and impact people's needs. These include privacy to avoid feeling crowded and having a space for personal possessions, and family and group interactions that require designated areas for group activity. Examples may include an eat-in kitchen or a great room for family activities. Again, when my husband and I were looking at our house, we were looking for space. We both needed privacy in terms of being able to work in individual spaces, but also wanted to think about where would we have people over, where could they sit and hang out, and where could we entertain them. Costs. The cost of a housing structure affects what people can afford. Factors that affect type and size of housing people can afford include operating costs, such as furnishings and equipment, and also maintenance costs, such as repairs and utility costs. The cost will also affect where you may be able to find your house. Right? When looking for a house, people look at places depending on how much they cost. Homes in Arlington are very expensive versus homes out in Reston or Herndon are very different in costs. Roles. Okay? Roles are patterns of behavior that people display in their homes. So for an example, an adult female may have the role of being a wife, a mother, and a teacher. Right? Children can also be sons, daughters, students, athletes, or artists. Right? Roles affect how housing is selected and used. So for an example, being very appropriate for right now, a student needs a quiet place to study or to do school virtually. Our lifestyle also affects our housing choices. The lifestyle is a pattern or way of life and can require space for such household activities as hobbies, so wanting and needing space and storage for those hobbies, entertaining and needing group spaces, working at home, and so you may need a quiet or organized area, and then retirement, so you may need a maintenance-free home. Your lifestyle affects the types of spaces that you need. Right? As somebody who's married with a husband but no children, our spaces are very different. However, as a couple who may be looking to start a family, you want to consider having extra bedrooms so that if and when you start a family, you have those spaces. Okay? I am very big into sewing, and so it was important for me to have a space where I could set up my sewing machine. You may notice that it's in the background a lot during our synchronous time. Housing choices can enhance a way of life. So what lifestyles do these images suggest? What factors should be considered for such lifestyles?